Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, I say this is the morning podcast with Jacob and Ethan.
This is hell.
Hey, where'd you get these donuts at?
Well, the
Can
name
you
is
read
on
the
box.
freaking box?
Yeah.
It says Lamar's. Where's that at?
Oh, that's down on Broadway. Like Broadway, what, 20th?
I don't know
I
streets.
thought your wife loved Lamar.
She does.
Yeah.
Not
you-
Lamar.
I got
She
them.
loves Lamar's.
You went
donuts.
downtown.
Dude, I got up at 5. I have not been sleeping very much over the last about 10 days. And I thought, okay, I'll sleep in today. I woke up at 4:30. Bolt awake. Could not fall back asleep. And then I ended up just working for another 3 hours. And I ended up driving. I drove around Kansas City for 4:30. So I left the house at 5. I got back here at 8:30. So I spent like an hour and a half or 2 hours driving around, listening to some Carly Rae Jepsen,
Oh, okay.
getting
So,
donuts.
Zach, that was the elephant that I heard upstairs. I didn't hear your children get up. I did, however, hear Jacob get up.
Go storming out of the house since 5 o'clock. Jeepers.
It's before 5.
Before.
And I was bolt awake.
But
Why
there's
didn't
a
you try to
beauty
go
to
back to
Kansas
sleep?
City early
I
on
did.
Saturday morning.
What?
There's a beauty in Kansas
It
City.
was nice. I
Because the
drove-
roads are cleared. You know, there's not a lot of hooligans out
I
and
took
about.
29, 35, took 35 south to Traffic Way. Took Traffic Way down, went back through Westport, drove back up on Broadway, got some Lamar's. It was really, I had the windows down.
Well, so that's why I asked where you get the donuts. Because, like, as far as I know, you have to go clear ass into KC to get them.
No, real Kansas City.
Yeah.
Not Zach's fake ass
Fake.
suburban
Fake.
bullshit.
You know how you
It's
know
not
this place
that
is fake?
suburban.
It's in Missouri and it looks decent.
Right.
That's not real
Well, there's
Missouri.
there's no actual nice houses in Missouri.
Right.
Right. This is just wannabe Kansas. I feel like they need 3 states. They need Kansas, wannabe Kansas, and then Missouri.
Nobody wants to be Kansas.
Everybody wants to be Kansas.
Kansas is like crappy Missouri.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up. You.
Every trucker I've ever talked to thinks that, oh, thank God I'm in Missouri. The roads are so much better.
Well, thank God I'm in
Man,
Kansas. It's a
I
flat
love-
drive. They
I
love
the
Kansas.
1-lane bridges in Missouri. Man, that's great.
Hey,
that's real
Should
safe.
we have an interstate go right through downtown? Yeah, but also let's make a box with 4 interstates that are the same name, and we'll just split them around downtown. It's gibberish.
It's not that hard. Just figure
It's
it out.
landscape gibberish.
Nobody even likes KCK. All the stuff is in KCMO. That's where it's all at.
What?
What's in
Slaps
KCK?
is in KCK.
Oklahoma Joe's
Is in KCK.
The Kansas City Sporting KC
Is in KCK.
NASCAR
Is in KCK.
NASCAR's in KC.
KCK.
Yeah.
Like half the things you mentioned are on state lines, so that if Missouri got a little itch to, they could just incorporate.
Yeah, and that's the same way with Kansas and like the Chiefs. If we just itched our way that way, we'd have them.
You'd have to go pretty far to get the Chiefs.
Whatever.
We're talking 15, 20 miles to get the Chiefs.
No, it's closer than Legends.
Nonsense.
No, you're
Oh,
nonsense.
you're talking the Chiefs Stadium from the border is closer than Legends is from the Missouri border. Yes.
Well, yeah.
Easily.
But who wants Legends? What's the point of Legends?
I fuck Legends.
Yeah, no, I mean they got a good jazz bar.
That's
Also,
what?
I just don't hear that used.
he's gonna beep it out.
I'm not sure the context of that is not something I've heard in conversation. What's the Can you give me a definition of how you used it?
What'd your kid say this morning?
I hope my kids say
You
that.
dad.
No, that was his usage was different. Like I don't. What does that mean?
I don't like it. I don't like Legends. That's the one bad. No, the 2 bad parts about. There's 2 bad things in Kansas: Legends and Atchison.
Hey, easy.
Atchison, Kansas.
All right.
It's not
it's
pretty
the
to
meth
look at, but
stain.
it is a soul
It is
part.
the meth sore on the face of Kansas.
I feel like Topeka's the sore on the face of Kansas.
You know, I was thinking about
Topeka's
that.
not
yes-
great.
I was thinking about town rivalries like Oakley and Colby, Chanute and Iola, Atchison and I don't
Jacob.
know. Yeah, Atchison and Jacob. But really, everybody hates Topeka.
it's like
Everybody does hate Topeka.
It's like
Even
they
the
were
people that
look-
work in Topeka hate
Topeka. They all want to live outside of Topeka.
They all live in Lawrence, like
Well,
certain brother-in-laws.
It's because they were looking at the state and they're like, okay, we have these cool cities, but they're kind of all in the corners. Let's just pick a piece of crap place in the middle and call that the capital.
That's not in the middle. It is clear
well,
away
in the middle
from...
of where all the important stuff is. Kansas really ends once you get west of Hayes.
Yeah.
That's where the money...
It becomes Kansas-esque.
The land west of Hayes is the best utilized out of the entire state. More money is made west of Salina than
fair
any
enough.
other place in Kansas, and there's more oil there.
prettiest area-
What's around Atchison? Freaking.
I'm not defending Atchison.
Hey, you're defending Eastern Kansas.
The river bottom ground
Oh, yeah,
there
there's
produces
pretty
high
stuff.
yield. High yield.
Oh, we're talking about just like pure yield potential
Yeah, but there's also people and stuff. There's not that in Western
and water.
Kansas.
They have water in the east
We have the largest aquifer
Water.
in the world in
that
the west.
you are draining at an exponential rate.
It's a little spooky. It is true.
Ogallala Aquifer.
Ogallala, you got it. So yeah, I mean, it's the eastern side of the state, much more pretty, a lot more people, but not as much money produced as the western side of the state. And it's primarily because there's
You don't
less
think there's a
people.
higher GDP in the eastern half of the state?
Absolutely not.
Really,
The rule-
including KCK.
Including like the people working in like friggin' offices up here.
You're high if
no,
you think that's
no,
the case.
I'm okay. So like Johnson County takes the cake easily,
Okay, sure, county by county level. Sure.
county by
okay.
county. But I'd say 80% of the highest grossing counties are definitely in Northwest Kansas. Absolutely, there's less people doing more work.
I don't not like Northwest Kansas. I love
Pheasant hunting. Good pheasant hunting.
Oh.
And if you hate people, great too.
great dancing,
But
great
also-
high school parties.
The water is a little less. There's not a lot of trees out there.
Yeah.
The trees hate their life. The trees, you could hear them in pain.
I once crashed Ethan's high school. Ethan's from Western Kansas, in a little town called Oakley, and I once crashed his high school graduation dance. Maybe the best dance I've ever been to.
And people still talk about it when I go home.
I came in there with very little shame. And
Jacob made my senior yearbook more than I did because of that one party.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I was standing. I mean, it was quite the ordeal.
You know what's funny though? People saw you dancing at State FFA too.
Oh yeah, well I am responsible for the Kansas State FFA no longer having a dance, because my senior year we just like turned that into a freaking trap house, and they were like, we're not doing this anymore. These kids are unhinged. I'm like, yes, we are. The FBLA.
They're not the country music. Let's play some Nirvana.
Oh, I mean, grinding and just yelling and running around screaming and all the good stuff.
No, it's
I'm
like
very
a
wholesome.
superpower, and it's your weakness is that you have the ability to completely change the dance.
I will say we did a good job at your dance. That video. See, but I feel like I've jumped the shark at this point. Like when I get to a dance, like I used to be able to restrain myself to an extent that people could kind of join in. And you watch that video of all of us dancing at Ethan's wedding, and like you all are at like an acceptable level of crazy, and I just like tripled that. And I'm just flailing, I'm falling on the ground, I'm rising back. I was like, it's too much. I'm watching. I'm like, Jacob, it's too much. Just calm your ass down.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. Because I would say
You approve
almost,
of that level.
I do. What I don't approve of,
We all love to dance.
and this
The
goes
Year
back
Ox.
to episode number 2 or 3, depending on who you side with, Jacob or Ethan.
Which it's not necessarily a matter of fact. It's like it's an alternative facts kind of situation.
It's whoever gets the most thumbs up wins
Right.
that. No, it was you didn't dance at Kaylin's wedding. I'm gonna.
Are you gonna bring this back? Are you gonna doing a callback right now?
Yes.
This is like turning into a repeat podcast the last time.
That was peak COVID.
which I'm comfortable with because,
You're comfortable with COVID, Zach?
no,
I know
I'm
a
not-
lot of people have been affected.
Hey, a
by
lot of
this.
people are suffering right now,
gosh.
Zach.
No, I was talking about something.
Not everybody
else.
has an office in their
Right, not
basement.
everybody is so privileged they can just work from home.
Oh, I think I'll just play
Sorry,
with my kids
I had to
and
go
do
into
work.
I
all
had
day.
to go into work and I got sick, asshole.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little harassed, to be honest. My comfort level.
What do you have to
pretty
say?
Low.
What do you have to say?
Well, am I gonna get a word in, or are you guys gonna berate me again for saying something about something else and then getting accused of
You're doing a great job,
COVID
Zach. You're doing
shaming
good.
or something?
You're okay.
I'm crying over here.
You're getting upset.
I'm getting very emotional.
For those of you that are
I'm getting too close to the mic.
fans of Zach on the Breakfast with Sal podcast, Zach has no emotion. He's not crying.
I am in tears.
I once asked Jenna if she'd ever seen him cry, and she looked at Zach because he was walking in the room, and then she just shook her head and had to walk off.
You don't cry in front of your woman. If you need to cry, you go and you hide it. Because your job, really the only reason I feel like a woman ends up with a man, like the only real reason, is to protect her in the case of an intruder. That's really your only purpose. That and be like, she can go to a sperm bank if she needs kids. She just needs a you're a security guard. You're a free security guard, and that's all you're good for. And if you start to cry, your only value is gone.
So you're saying Ethan had no value because you could slip into his house without him knowing?
Yeah, you're the real jackass here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, man, these hash browns are delicious.
They are good, aren't they?
They're perfect.
Just the
level
right amount of
crispy.
salt,
Yeah.
not crisp. They're nice but they're not overdone on the inside
I don't know.
like McDonald's used to be.
Well, I can tell you, you're probably catching a lot of breathing from my mic. Just the fatter I get, the more I'm breathing. It's so bad. I was filming myself walking through my house with my new GoPro, and all I could do was hear myself breathing.
What's this GoPro thing?
I got GoPro, bro.
Why you get a GoPro? Why?
Are you doing active things like whitewater rafting and
Yeah,
riding?
are you just filming yourself like walking to the bathroom, getting milk out of the fridge?
No, I wanted like a home video thing, so I wanted something to take
I
pictures.
wouldn't. The mic picks that up when you play with the stand.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're listening to the podcast, now you found the spot where Jacob is once again telling us something's wrong with our mics. Please don't get that close to it. No, I want something for a home video, and I was like, if you're gonna get a home, recorder or whatever for just any kind of memories, why not get a GoPro?
Don't you have your phone for that?
I do not have a smartphone.
But Maggie does.
We're not gonna use her phone every time we need to film something.
There's not enough space either. The video takes up a lot of
Plus,
space.
honestly, a GoPro is great because it should be hardier.
Is GoPro? I don't know.
I don't want to.
I don't know about GoPro.
That's fine. Okay, but what was
Joe.
I talking about before that?
I don't know.
Oh yeah. So 2 weeks ago, Salina gets like 10 inches of snow. Okay, it was actually like 4, but roads
Somewhere
are,
between 4 and 10.
It's pretty good range
realistically
there.
it's between 3 and 5, but yeah, because it's 4. We started getting snow, and being out there in the wilderness, I just stockpiled our house full of wood. We had a fire going. We locked all the doors and everything, and the snow was coming down. So I go to bed. I go to sleep. I wake up in the middle of the night, use the bathroom. I didn't see anything outside, or so I thought. And then I wake up at 6 in the morning, and I walk to the kitchen, gonna put more wood in the stove, and I see a car in our driveway caked in snow. So the person that was there long enough for the snow to get caked over the car. Go grab my glasses and Maggie's baton, and lo and behold, Jacob is sleeping on my freaking couch in my extra room. I start getting all pissed off because I can get pissed off in that scenario. Your Honor, nobody's gonna doubt me for that. I have my rights. And Jacob just says, "Listen to your voicemail," and then I listened to his voicemail and pretty much was begging to come over because he was on a date, right?
It was.
But his voicemail was like this. The string of words I'm about to tell you are going to sound a little bizarre. Oh shoot, I can't say it.
No, you can't
Massachusetts, Massachusetts tricked me into a date.
You ever listen much to Uncle Tupelo? He doesn't even know who.
I don't know. I'm not hip to the music.
Well, that's from the 90s.
Nah, it sounds like too deep a cut.
Nah, I want to say my mom listened. What is he saying?
Well, it was. Have you ever heard of Wilco? Jeff Tweedy?
Oh, I was thinking about Tupelo Honey. That's what I was thinking about. That's a different song by a different
That's a
guy.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tupelo Honey. You know it.
I can't sing it for you, but you would know it if I played it.
Right, I would know it.
There's zero chance I would know any of the songs you're talking about.
Right, because they're not screaming into the mic.
You don't listen to metal anymore, do you?
No.
Zach used to be the metalhead in the family.
Yeah, because I was like an angsty.
He was posting
sad
guitar
teen.
Licks on.
Dude, he
Good.
wasn't bad.
I
You
was
weren't
so
bad.
bad.
You weren't
So
that
bad.
bad. You were fine.
I mean, I didn't
Ugh.
think you were good, but nobody's good.
I might
when
have
they
called
first
you in
start
for some guitar solos, Zach.
Like I can't even play the guitar. I was just like a sad teenager who was like, I'm gonna learn to play the guitar and that will make me cool.
That
And it
wasn't
didn't,
lame.
And I
It
couldn't.
did.
What was
Made you
lame
edgy.
was your guys' poetry.
Super edgy playing my guitar in like an Old Navy polo.
We have a band. Have a band.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had shirts for it.
Somebody has a question?
Somebody has a question.
Is our band.
Yeah.
And a Facebook Facebook.
But Zach and I, at some point, started using it as a place to post our poetry. And
And
Oh,
I
that was
didn't have
pathetic.
much poetry, so I kind of bowed out to that.
You guys posted a decent amount of content.
dude, I was reading back through the stuff I posted. It wasn't all bad. Some of it was decent. For a high schooler,
for a high school Jacob. No.
some of it was decent.
I can't believe I tried to write poetry. That's a sad
Why?
phase
Why
of
are
my
you
life.
offended by that?
It's just like
You realize
What do you have against poetry,
This
asshole?
is like Jacob
It's
talking
not-
about his relationship.
it's not about like you doing poetry. It's just not something I should have done.
You're
Like-
opening up. You're trying to express yourself.
Yeah, that's not something I'm comfortable
That was the
doing.
mistake he made.
I shouldn't have shared myself on a digital platform. That was
Yeah.
stupid.
That's one thing I didn't really realize at that point. It's just like, okay, don't put stuff up unless it's polished and you're ready for it to go up.
Yeah.
Oh my
And you
gosh.
thought about it beforehand.
Because it turns out it's forever.
Right.
I think I was talking to Maggie about this. Maybe I spoke to you guys. Like, I don't really think of young people are joining. I don't believe young people are joining Facebook like we did. Like, I
No,
joined it
young
when I was-
people hate Facebook. They're not on Facebook anymore.
They're not
Right,
on
like,
Twitter
what-
either.
But what's the cutoff? What's the youngest people on Facebook right now? The youngest
Us.
mass group.
Us.
We're not the youngest
Yes.
group.
No.
I would
the
say
youngest people, we're the youngest group of people that still use Facebook.
no, because I think the youngest people I see in mass on Facebook are like just out of college right now.
I think you're looking at it
Nah.
wrong. I think they're on Facebook, but it's not their main platform.
Right, they're just using
They've
it
got-
to like put up the picture of themselves in Cancun.
Yeah.
With like the man who
But
paid for it.
But that's Insta. They're doing Insta.
Right, but
and
really it's about
Snapchat.
Instagram and
And they have a they have.
I
all
almost
of
feel
it.
like
And the
Tinder is now
TikToks.
like a social network for
Get
people too.
out of here with that Tinder.
I'm not on the
bullshit.
Tinder train. I'm just saying I feel like for that age cohort, like it's almost like Tinder is one of their social networks. It's like
That-
Tinder,
you might be true.
Instagram.
Actually, yeah, because a lot of the younger guys in the warehouse.
They don't. People don't use Tinder to date. People use Tinder to just like talk to a bunch of people.
It's
That they may
it's
or
a
may not be-
social. It's a social
Yeah.
media thing for sure.
Right.
For sure. Not that I've ever been on it.
Right. What?
I'm just, if somebody was on it, they could probably.
I used that during when I was before I got COVID because I didn't want to. I was trying to be a good non-COVID spreader. So I used the dating apps thing. I tried them out really, and just a lot of bullshit on there. Not worth the time.
You're telling me you can't get everyone's like personality just from a couple pictures and a
No,
paragraph?
That's not it. It's more just like literally the way it's designed. It's like it's designed to be super addictive. One, it's designed to like it's more thrilling to get another match than like continue to speak to a person you matched with. So it's almost
Interesting.
like you match with somebody like the way they've designed it is like so it's all visual, right? So it's all just like if
Yeah.
you're not like visually appealing or don't know how to make yourself visually appealing, you're fucked. And then on top of that, no, you're literally not fucked. But on top of that,
That's funny, but you're gonna have to bleep that out. It's so funny. Oh, sorry, you're not bleep.
well, we'll do a clean edit probably on this one.
We have to have only a clean edit
Why?
because Zach doesn't want this kind of foul language.
Well, I'm not using it, and I'm not engaging
Right.
in the conversations, and I feel like I don't have the freedom to tell you not to swear, so I'll just like.
I'm trying to. I'm restricting my f-bomb usage.
It seems like it's part of your spiel too. Like if you weren't swearing, then people wouldn't get how
But
angry
if you
are.
were swearing too much, I think it would be on. It'd be a quasi Jacob. real Jacob only curses little bits.
Sentence enhancers.
Kind of like a little spreading of the song.
I
a
don't
little bit.
drop the F-bomb as much as I used to.
You
It
don't
used
wanna-
to be every other word.
Yeah, you did. Like right when you when you were in college,
Yeah.
it was.
It was a constant stream of Fs and.
You know what though? That's like I think that's an age where everybody like reaches their peak level of swearing,
Right. It just.
and then you realize as an adult, like, it's like salt, just a little
Right.
sprinkle will do. it.
Well, and I even made a clever joke with it.
It was clever.
No comment.
But anyway, so like it's designed, it's just very visual one, right? And then it's very much like the thrill of it is getting a match and then like the first couple messages. And that's the only part that's thrilling. So like it drives you to keep using it over and over and over to get like a match and a few messages in. And then basically you get like all these matches that you've like had like very surface level contact with. And then it's just like that's like it's but like it doesn't prioritize or make meaningful like actual conversation. And so then you almost have to be like really weirdly sexually aggressive. It's not that important. It's just like a guideline. You don't have to worry about your distance too much. Just worrying about how far he is from the mic.
I just keep checking every couple minutes
yeah,
just
so
to
that-
make sure I'm not drifting.
It's almost like you have to either be like awkward, like weirdly too sexually aggressive, or like really forward about getting someone's number. And even then, like you have to be weirdly forward about meeting up. You just have to be like. You have to act in a way that you would never act in actual life. Like you don't go up to somebody at a bar and like 2 sentences in being like, "Can I have sex with you?" or like something to that effect. You don't just get like 5 sentences in and be like, "Hey, I would like to pick you up from your house. Is this okay?" Like it's just not how people actually mate. So,
Any comments on that, Zach?
No comment.
right. So you're better off just I don't know what you're better off doing.
Singing in a glade, and then whoever comes is your soulmate. That's how I found.
You know what?
Maggie.
The best way to find people would be
I
a
was thinking
singles
Trog
bowling
toward
event.
the Bernadator. I remember somebody setting me up on a date or two, and it was a good time, was it not?
No. This whole setting people up on dates thing is bad.
Why is it
Bad.
Why is it bad?
Who's got set up on a date?
You set me up on a
Oh
date.
yeah, that girl's whose heart you broke.
Wait, what?
I did not break
Story.
her heart.
Story time.
She has a family. She's happy.
Story time.
Yeah, well, she wasn't very happy, and then I was the intermediary.
Oh,
Tell me, what-
bullshit.
what
that
is this? What
happened.
happened?
Bullshit. That happened.
Jenna and I set Ethan up.
Very nice
with-
girl.
With
Very
a,
nice girl.
With a friend of mine's sister. And they went on a couple dates, and then Ethan just ghosted the hell out of her.
Did she like Ethan?
She did like Ethan. She thought they had a good time. She couldn't figure out what went wrong. And Ethan thought the stand-up thing to do would be to just fade into the background and
Did you like tell her like, "Hey, I'm just not interested. I had fun,
No,
but
my thought was it was only 2 dates. I shouldn't have to explain why I don't want to go on a third.
I feel like after if it's
And to be fair,
was she
I asked,
texting you
I
though? Was
asked
she
Jenna
blowing up
about
your
it.
phone?
I asked Jenna about
Is she
it.
blowing up your phone? This girl?
No, she did text me though to ask how things are going. I said great and yada yada, but it wasn't a ton. That was it. It was like maybe 2 or 3 texts.
Okay,
after.
he didn't ghost her if he responded to her text.
I guess.
I don't know. This is the whole BC thing. Like, you go on one date with somebody,
Okay,
you
this
basically
wasn't
propose.
this wasn't
You
even
basically
NBC.
propose.
This wasn't even NBC. But here's the thing.
Oh, you're playing by BC rules, though.
Yeah, this is a BC.
It's a BC girl. You're a
Benedictine
BC
College in
guy.
Atchison, Kansas.
BC boy, BC girl, classic BC story. No,
I got coffee with a girl on a Saturday morning, and that was a date somehow.
yeah,
all
because
day.
you're
It's not a date.
you're Jacob. That means a hell of a lot more than a normal
Okay,
person. No. But anyway, anywho, I want clarification on this. If a guy goes on 2 dates with a girl, he's entitled to pour out like a genuine like, I'm sorry, I'm not into you.
No.
I don't think it's not
think
a big
so.
deal.
I think if
No.
I think if you go on 2 dates, you have an obligation to at least give a little bit more of a push off than just completely.
To give that girl credit, I do not think she was heartbroken after not getting on a third date.
There's no way you wouldn't know.
Well, that's the other. If she was heartbroken, she shouldn't have set herself up like that. It was only 2 dates.
Right.
You shouldn't fall in.
You got to protect yourself, women.
but
out there, the
you
women
have to ha-
listeners.
you have
We
to-
have a lot of women listeners, by
bullshit.
the way.
We have a lot.
We
of
are
women.
we are maybe more than 3/4 women listeners.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Weirdly, like, women. I think more women than men listen to this podcast.
I'm halfway through the Silmarillion for the second time.
It's excellent literature.
Beautiful.
Silmarillion?
I like the Silmarillion.
I've been reading. You ever read "The Heart Is a Lonely Hunter"?
No, I'm illiterate. essentially illiterate. Can we talk about the book though?
Hey, can we talk about how illiterate we is?
Yes.
That could be a part of your podcast.
I think
when
we
Jacob-
be sounds better.
Oh no, the coffee date thing. That's what I wanted to circle back to. That wasn't a date. Your BC weird ass fundamentalist Catholic rules.
Okay, but
It wouldn't
hear
have been
me
a
out.
date if you both happened to be there at the same time. But you could. There was coordination there.
Yep.
A coordination.
Coordination does not create date.
No.
Here's
it
the
is
thing.
by definition a date. It is a scheduled piece of time in the future. That is a date.
That is a date.
In the loosest definition.
In the loosest definition.
But
There isn't a lot of gravity there, but it is a
Let
date.
me tell the story. Let's Zach, get your word in edgewise.
It's just you chose to enter into a different culture. You play by their rules, and in BC culture, which is that part of the Atchison bubble, you have engaged in a date by taking someone to coffee, by planning it out, by going there alone with them. That is a date.
And
That's BC culture. That's a date.
In the manner in which you did it, I would also argue it's a date in New York culture and Columbia culture.
I can't speak to that. I'm not.
I'm not.
I know that I'm telling you, the way that you went
I go
about
by
it,
human culture.
there was so much coordination and courage involved in asking this beautiful girl to, get coffee that it was a date. She subjected herself to you.
She had a good time until I freaked out at her about 24 hours later.
Damn, the Jacob ship is burnt up
Here's
again.
a question. Did you buy her coffee?
I don't think I bought it. I think she bought it.
She bought her own
Jacob.
coffee. You know what though? That in the college culture, it wasn't that uncommon to go Dutch just because everyone's impoverished.
Dude, can I just please tell what the story is?
Please.
Please. So
That's what we want.
We're
more
up in
Jacob
Atchison.
time.
When I used to live in Kansas City. Since we're in Kansas City right now, and I was living with Ethan, and we can talk about the whole bed story too. When I paid for the bed and I didn't get the bed, maybe we
Yes,
can
please.
get that.
Why?
But
Why? You're wrong.
we went up to Atchison, where Ethan went to college, which is a little town north of Kansas City, about an hour and
Donuts
15.
have way too much frosting on them.
Why don't you interrupt his story talking about donuts some more, and then I'll interrupt talking about you interrupting.
Okay, I'm sorry,
So,
Jacob. Go ahead.
we're at this party, and some of his old college buddies are there, and some of the people they know that are still in college are there. And me and this girl are talking about books. She's like, I want to go be a magazine editor when I get older. And so
Oh, I thought you were going.
I got her number or whatever. And I was like, let's meet up for coffee. And so we met up for coffee the next day. Each bought our own coffees, talked for an hour and a half, and that was it. Right.
You should do like listener polls. They can decide.
Yeah.
Was it a
no,
date?
But post this on Facebook, and you could do a poll and say, "Do you think?" And it'd be like, skip to this.
It
point
really
in
is
the podcast.
irrelevant because about 12 hours after that, we were still in Atchison. About 18 hours after that, and we had a little party going again. And then, the girl told me she was coming. Showed up about 3 hours after she was coming. And I, who have only known this person for less than 24 hours, if you would just please quit fidgeting with the damn mic stand. Sit on your hands, sir. She's like, why'd you show up late? Why'd you tell me you weren't coming? She's like, of course she has the natural human reaction of like, who is this psychotic dude just like getting on me who I haven't even known for a full day yet? And that was all that
this
was.
is one of friends.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bleep that though, because I'm not trying to.
we should
Put anybody on
bleep
blast.
all names.
You're gonna bleep that, but you won't bleep. Oh, Ethan's setting up this.
No, I'll bleep that you said.
Right. Okay.
I don't like people to be able to be tracked. Like she's not someone who's in our friend circle, so I don't want like.
Oh, whatever. Okay.
When
so
you bleep it, do you think people think you're swearing? Maybe
Well,
like
sometimes I bleep stuff, and I kind of do it to make it sound more like swearing. So I did that to Heidi. She said someone's last name, and I made it like,
I love it.
and it was just for fun.
I know. Oh, but also, like, you're gonna bleep that, but you won't bleep the set Ethan's.
I might have to. I'll do something with
Just
that.
bleep
Okay,
a bunch
we'll
of
see.
stuff in there.
I know you're ready to.
It's just, wow, they're getting really
Well, no,
mad.
I don't. How do I put this? My personal policy when it comes to editing these things is, I want to be able to tell stories from my lives and other people's lives, but I don't want people who aren't part of the circle to have to get dragged into it. If that makes sense.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I didn't want to be dragged into it the first time.
you, Zach,
You are back here
you're-
again.
You're in my house.
in the Yurok Trinity that is you, Jacob, and I. You are always having to get sucked in.
I'm the Holy Ghost. I'm just trying to stay out of it.
just tried to pull you in.
Just leave me alone.
It's against your will.
So what's the story about? And speaking of when Ethan and I used to live in Kansas City, what's the story about the bed, Ethan?
Let's go.
Why are we talking about the bed?
I feel like it's a story that the world needs to know. About when I paid Ethan an extra $100 a month to be able to sleep in the one bed we had in the apartment.
Well, okay,
and he
but
wouldn't let me sleep in it.
Why is that? Why did you? So, like, people need to know why you're paying a guy more money to sleep in his bed.
So I was staying with Ethan, and we were splitting the rent. You are having a hard time, aren't you? I just want to touch it. I just want to touch it. When you look at him, he's just like.
He looks so uncomfortable.
what
I can get you something to play with.
Stop it.
Get him a fidget spinner.
Here, what about my old mouth guard?
That is freaking.
It's never been in my mouth.
Why is it in your desk? Why?
Because
is
it's
it
never been in
work-
my mouth. I don't play hockey with a mouth guard anymore.
Okay, put
Here,
it back. I don't want
play
it.
with this.
I don't want it.
Play with it.
Bitch, get out of my face.
Play with it.
So Ethan and I were living in
bleep-
Kansas
don't
City.
bleep
I
that.
went there right after uni, and
Don't say uni. Gosh, damn.
That does sound
pisses
so
me off.
pretentious.
I went to uni.
that's what they say in Europe.
Okay, are we in Europe?
Oh, that's right. Europeans are better than us. Go ahead.
Oh, yes.
Someone did make the comment. I was going out, and I had my shirt tucked in, and it was like a button-up shirt. Like, oh, you didn't have to dress up for this. Like, I'm just wearing a flannel that's tucked in. It's not. Really didn't go all out here. But I guess we're in. Anyway, so I'm living with Ethan, and he has one bed, and he has a cot. Like, oh yeah, you can
It
stay
is
here.
a king size bed that I got from my friend's wife's parents.
And he says, yes, you can sleep on the cot. So I tried sleeping on this cot for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I just cannot fall asleep until like 5 in the morning. It's just like, it's literally hell. So like, even I will pay you I will take $100 more of the rent on me if I can have rights to the bed. And I'm traveling for work. So he gets to sleep in the bed all the time. But I just have to be, when I'm not traveling, I want to be able to sleep in the bed.
You're gonna get your time, Ethan. You'll get your time.
But I want to ask a question.
Okay.
And just so like,
Was Jacob done with his
Jacob,
rant?
are you sure it was $100 or was it 50?
It might only been 50.
I think it was 50.
I thought it was 50.
Right.
Okay.
It was a king size bed.
It was a huge king size.
You guys
bed.
couldn't have just shared it. King size is
No.
pretty big.
We could have. Actually, Jacob did once with one of my friends from high school.
I mean, you guys already share the same genes. What's sharing the same bed?
Okay, so are you done?
In a non-biblical
Anyway,
sense.
so I come back. So anyway, one week I'm working in Louisville at the time, and I'm like Thursday. It's been a kind of a shitty week of work, and I'm coming back, and man, the one thing I'm looking forward to is getting in the bed and sleeping, just getting a restful night's sleep on a Thursday night. Like finally, I can get a real night's sleep back at home on this bed I'm paying extra for, and I come in, and Ethan is on the bed. Ethan, get out. He doesn't start. He just stays there like, Ethan, Ethan. Ethan! He refuses to stir or move. And then I was about ready to move out. I was riding with Zach the next day because this is when we started. Zach, Ethan, and I went and got barbecue like a different place in Kansas City every week for like a year. And I was riding with Zach on maybe our first trip. It was the Q39, one of our first trips. And I was like, I just went off. Like, I was just about ready. Like, I was about ready to move out. Like, I was not paying $50 extra a month to not have the bed when Ethan felt like sleeping in the bed.
Okay.
All right.
This when it starts? Because this is beautiful. He walks in Q39 in a huff. And, I mean, it was like an episode of Mean Girls. Episode in Mean Girls.
And I recall feeling like I thought it was all a little silly at the time.
And then again.
I'm still kind of there.
No, but you were definitely like, oh, shit, this is not
Well, yeah, I
silly.
saw that there was tension, but I thought it was a silly thing to have tension over.
I mean, part of
And
it is I was so
I thought-
angry.
I
I literally slept like crap the whole week. So it was like one of those days where I'm like running on very little sleep, and I'm just like, when you're running on very little sleep, you're already crabby, and then when the thing you're crabby about is not being able to get sleep, it's
No,
just
I think
Yeah.
that's fair. But I think in the light of day, clear rationality, it may not have been the
Okay,
biggest.
I need
deal
to
in the
get
world.
started here so we're not
Okay,
off.
Well,
Well,
and I
on
thought
too
he
many-
was gonna
We're
just
on-
like I thought it was gonna be a more thing where Ethan's just like, he'll pay me, and then like some nights I'm gonna sleep in the. You know what I mean? It was just like,
Yeah, it
I'm not gonna
wasn't-
honor our arrangement.
It was not. Well, first off, okay, so this is how it starts. Jacob moves in. I let him live with me, folks.
I'm
this-
paying rent.
This is not the first time that he's living with me. This is number 3.
I was not living with you in Atchison. I was living with your friends in Atchison.
since I had lived at the house and I ran the house, you were living with me.
No, you weren't living there though. You
wa-
stayed there for a couple weeks. I stayed there the
for
whole summer.
I stayed there for a month, and then when I left, then granted, you were not living with me, but you were living with me because you wouldn't have gone
We
there.
were both living at somebody else's house.
You were
we were
not-
all both living at somebody else's house.
I took you out of my
Migration. You offered me a place to stay in Kansas City, and then it was ripped away from me.
You wouldn't. Okay, but here's the.
That's a whole nother story.
Here's the point. You would not have been there had it not been for me. I took you with me. That's fine. And then I left. Okay, so I invited Jacob to live with me. Fact. I let Jacob use my computer. I gave him the password to my computer, which is the password to everything. Check. I gave him the password to the Wi-Fi. I gave him a key to the apartment. And I gave him the keys to my car when he was trying to go on a date with the girl who didn't text him for 30 minutes. So he said, F you, I'm going home. And then she still was on for the date. She was just a little late. Anywho.
We never went on that date though. But she was, yeah.
Okay.
That's a whole nother story too.
But since we're talking about,
I'm still toxic, but I was very toxic at that point in my life.
Yeah, but the point
Even
is,
let's
the
keep the
point
fighting
is,
back.
the point
Let's get
is,
off.
I was extremely open. And gave.
And I
Jacob-
thank you for it. I thank you for it, sir.
He wanted to sleep on my bed, and I had a cot, so I said, "That's fine. I'll take the $50 you could sleep."
You
on.
could have said no. I would have maybe gone out and bought a bed or
all
something.
all I asked that when he was gone for that week, hey, I'd like to watch some Hulu, and he said, "F you."
I did not say that.
In my heart, it felt like that. He said, "No, I'm not going to give you my password."
And my password to everything.
But like, what the?
Why am I being unreasonable by saying I'm not going to give you the account that has
Because
a password
I'm
to
giving
everything?
you everything, even the bed on which I sleep.
I ended up changing my password and letting you use it.
I gave you
did you?
everything. I
Was it
gave
that
you
night, though?
everything of mine.
No,
everything was
urgent.
my vehicle, the place I slept.
And I
Everything
appreciated it. I said
shared it,
thank you.
and you couldn't let me watch Hulu.
You can
it was
use.
so.
I let you use Hulu.
It was so.
You watched.
no, you didn't. No, you
on
didn't.
Hulu.
Yeah, after you changed your password. I don't give two dicks if that was your password to everything. I gave you everything. I don't give two shits.
So you
about
only
that.
give things to get something in return.
And,
Such
okay,
a
but here's the
married
other thing.
couple.
Jacob never paid me for the bed. That was going to be the first night he was going to sleep on my bed. And I didn't get any money. So even though I said I'd let him sleep there, I slept on that bed out of pettiness because homeboy would not give me an inch, even though I gave him everything. He never gave me money. Should he get the goods?
I
if he
gave
does
you
not?
money.
No, he didn't.
I would pay you at $50 extra a month.
That
and
was
you
the
paid-
first time you did it, and you did not give me. I did not have the money in my hand. I remember this because.
But you
I
got
had,
it. You tell don't act like I didn't pay you.
The real reason you didn't sleep on that bed is because of Ethan's anger at you. But the legal reason is I never got, like, the reason I'm going to win in court's because I never had money in my hand. Zach, what do you think?
Well, I think two things. One, the whole thing could have been resolved by
It could have been.
by utilizing.
Jacob letting me
No.
watch his-
A normal human would have had a rational discussion about what was bothering them each.
I did.
The most important thing, and everyone should do this: have different passwords for different things. That would have resolved this whole thing. Ethan gets his Hulu. He stays out of the bed. Jacob gets his sleep.
Also, I'm paying for the Hulu. He's not paying any. I'm supposed to give him Hulu for free.
Oh, I'm paying for the fucking Wi-Fi, the computer, the bed. I bought it all and my car. Yet you're getting to use it. God.
I mean, I think the second thing is I don't think you had a written contract for the bed. That's why he wants to get everything in writing because
Yeah.
you're gonna come back and screw him just like this.
Oh yeah, Jacob's the one that got screwed out of that deal.
Oh man.
Yeah, so if you could message on whatever you're, wherever you're listening to this podcast, message us and let us know, was Jacob right or was Ethan
I
right?
appreciate everything you gave me. You were very generous,
But
and it was a great time living with you. And what?
No, I'm just waiting
There's
for
no
it.
but. I just thank you.
But I still should have slept on that bed.
Oh, no, I'm just saying thank you. You were very generous. It was a great time. It was a good start into Kansas City.
It was a good start.
It's a good time.